Well, welcome to the club. I know you was trying to hold on to that last vestige of youth for a while now.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into it.
You just got to embrace it.
Exactly, baby.
I don't know why you touched it.
Which is what he should have just done this morning.
You jump on his phone like DJ.
He sold his old house. Completely paid.
Yeah, we got the partner. How you doing this morning, man? You look a little exasperated. You all right?
Killing each other for the phone, man. I'm like, no, man, that's not cool.
So what? I'm just fixing my camera, man. I got to make it look good.
You got kind of lukewarm on me about.
Because I saw it yesterday, and
Really? Hell no. They're going to see Barbie.
fucking hell. Yeah, I went to see Oppenheimer yesterday. I thought I was gonna like it, you know, because it's you know, it's Christopher Nolan. It's all these great actors, man. You know, RDJ.
Wait, stop. I don't understand the hype about Christopher Nolan.
So, I mean, I became a Christopher Nolan fan from Batman, right?
See?
But you know, he's done some great movies, man. Hold up for a second. Let's go to the vault here. Man, I typed in CHR and it came up. So must have been a whole lot of people looking for Christopher Nolan stuff. So his movies are, the last one was Oppenheimer. He did The Dark Knight, Interstellar, Memento, Batman Begins, The Prestige, Dark Knight Rises.
So I'm going backwards. I hadn't seen, what did I watch? I think I watched Zack Snyder's Justice League. He was the executive producer of it.
Zack Snyder, which one is Zack Snyder's?
Yeah.
Which one?
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh, okay.
4 hours long. Tenet, I watched, was a good movie. I hadn't seen Justice League. I hadn't seen Batman versus Superman.
I
watched Interstellar was a good movie.
Yeah.
Transcendence was a good movie.
You ever seen Memento?
Memento was a good movie. The Prestige was a good movie. Inception was a good movie.
Did you see Tenet?
I saw Tenet.
You didn't like it?
Tenet was okay. Tenet was just okay for me. See, I'm not a big fan of his superhero movies.
So you didn't like The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises?
No.
Oh, gee, come on, man.
I did not like Dark Knight.
Come
on. No, I did not. I rated people. The Dark Knight on IMDB has got 9 out of 10. I rated it a 6.
I rated it amazing.
I rated it a 6.
You rated it a what?
6.
A 6 out of 6?
No, a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 5?
6 out of 10.
No, there's something wrong with you then.
No, I think people get wrapped around the fact that, you know, this was Heath Ledger's last movie, and you know, his his Joker character was good.
I thought his Joker was excellent. So, Jokers, right? You got Jack Nicholson's Joker in the first Batman, right? The Michael Keaton Batman, which was kind of cartoonish, I guess. Then you had, there have been other Jokers, obviously, but the notable ones. Heath Ledger's Joker was fantastic, right? I think. Joaquin Phoenix Joker was a movie about the Joker. And his Joker was great too. But
I liked his Joker better.
Which one?
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah.
What about Jared Leto, the Suicide Squad?
I forgot about that. I think Leto is one of those actors that doesn't get enough credit for his range. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that I've seen him in that I hadn't liked. So I'm going to his filmography. Let's see. Hadn't seen any of that.
So Jared Leto, Joaquin Phoenix, Jack Nicholson, and Heath Ledger were the kind of big screen Jokers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think like Batman. I didn't see him in order. I think I saw the Dark Knight Rises first, just to show you how out of touch I was with that whole thing. But I think I saw the Dark Knight Rises first. Then I went back and watched Batman Begins, and then I watched the Dark Knight. But yeah, so I really like Christopher Nolan's movies. I mean, those three at least. Yeah. And there's this series on, I think it's on HBO Max or Max or whatever they call it now. And it's like the origin story of Alfred, the Batman butler. Is called Pennyworth. That's Alfred's name, Alfred Pennyworth.
Yeah.
And it's on I think it's like 3 or 4 seasons, but they're on HBO Max. That was a pretty interesting origin story too for his butler. You want to check that out.
I'm looking at it now. Yeah. I like him.
Who is that? Guy playing Pennyworth?
No. Jason Fleming. He plays Lord James Harwood.
Oh, Jason Fleming?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
I like him.
He's good. But the other people in there, the one who plays Bet Sykes she's excellent in Pennyworth. Jack Bannon's good in it too. He played a good one. Bazzer, I think he was only in a couple of seasons. He's good. I don't know. The whole series is great. I think you check it out. It's interesting. The Albert Pennyworth's origin story, and there's Lucius Fox shows up in there too, who is Morgan Freeman's character in Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, or Dark Knight Rises, and The Dark Knight. Yeah. Yeah, you got to check that out. You probably dig those.
Yeah, yeah. Well, back to Oppenheimer and why you didn't like it.
One, I knew it was gonna. I knew it was just it was slow. Um, and you know, so it was about how he had he did all this stuff for the U.S. And then at some point, they started looking at his past and started looking at his history when they were trying to um, to renew some security. It was all about his security clearance. It seemed like to me, and it's going back into his communist history. But a lot of people were involved with the Communist Party back then.
Yeah.
And so that's what it was kind of all about, all leading up to, and how those characters interacted with him, and how that interaction kind of fueled the whole his whole story. I don't know. I thought it was going to be a little bit more. I don't know how action packed you can have something about guys who are trying to uh, build a bomb or split the atom or do all stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think it was. It was 3 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. 3 hours and 5 minutes. It was long. I mean, at some point you like, hey man, he could have got rid of like 4 or 5 scenes and kind of cut this thing down a little bit.
Did you go to a regular theater, or did you go to the IMAX, get the comfy?
I wanted to see it in IMAX, but they didn't have an IMAX down at Paragon. So, but it's one of those theaters where you can go in there, man, the seats kind of recline, There wasn't a whole lot of people in the theater, so it was a nice atmosphere. And I was just ready to watch it, right? I was like T.O., I got my popcorn ready, and the whole nine, but I don't know. And everybody in there, when we were walking out, they were going, nah, it was like one of those things, because there's not a whole lot of those type movies, those type of blockbuster summer movies that come out anymore, right? And so it was a kind of this event that everybody was going to be in there, and people have been going to see these things for weeks. But I tell you, G, I just wasn't impressed. And I mean, and that's coming from somebody who was a big Christopher Nolan fan, man. I don't know. Too long, too slow.
I read somebody so Oppenheimer and Barbie came out the same weekend, and somebody did a review on both the movies and was saying which one you should go see. And at the very end, their conclusion was you're better off going to see Barbie than Oppenheimer.
I mean, okay. I would go to Barbie if they were like, I don't know, giving money out the door. But kind of beyond that, yeah. I don't know. I just don't, I know I wouldn't enjoy a movie like Barbie. I don't think I would, at least, and I'm not gonna risk $15 to figure it out. So
just
but
$15.
hmm?
Just $15.
Yeah, $15 a ticket, man. Why? Did that sound cheap? That sound
Yeah.
That sound inexpensive? Really?
Yeah.
Now 15 for one ticket, $15.
How much did you pay for Oppenheimer?
More than that, because it was one of those special theaters, though. But that's different. Because you can
No. So let's discuss this. So how much did you pay for that Oppenheimer ticket?
Man, 25, I think, 27. But so they have these. So the local theater down there, they have these kind of 3 options that you can do for movies, right? You can have like the regular option like you're going to see, Star Wars in 1979, right? It's just a seat, and you're in there with just, the taxpaying mob, right? Then they got another theater where you can go in. It's got the reclining seats and the whole deal, right? Which is nice. Then they got one which is upstairs, and it's 21 and over. Seats recline like a love seat, right? The seats recline. You can buy alcohol. You can order food. You can like have dinner in there. It's a whole big production, right?
Yeah.
So I was upstairs, kind of doing my whole thing up there.
So did you have drinks and appetizers?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you spent $100 on a movie that you didn't like.
Yeah, it was about 100 all told. Yeah, it was north of 100. But I mean, the experience was nice, right?
Paid $30 to get in. You probably paid $20, $30. You probably paid, if you had a couple beers, that's another $30.
I had a couple of mixed drinks, man. Had a couple of cocktails, as they say in the big city. Yeah, a couple of cocktails, man. Had some refreshments. Yeah.
Yeah. You spent $100.
Yeah, it's about $100. But again, so because I had been looking forward to see. I think I said it on the VodCast like a couple of times, right? I have been looking forward to going to see Oppenheimer since it came out, and I just was not thoroughly. I didn't thoroughly enjoy it like I thought it was. I thought I would, and that kind of let me down. Anyway, and I don't see any movies really on the horizon. I think like Denzel's doing. That's another Equalizer coming out, right?
Yeah. Equalizer 3. Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be in theaters here soon, I guess.
Yep.
But I hadn't really seen any other movies that I think that I would want to go and see. I mean, you go see Denzel because it's a Denzel movie, right? And just go and check that out.
But the Equalizer series has been well done so far.
Never saw one.
Really?
Never saw one. I like just a little bit of realism in my movies, even though even though you go to a movie and then everybody makes the decision when you walk in there. You're going to suspend disbelief for a couple of hours, right? You just go in there, enjoy the film and all that, but
So you'll watch every Christopher Nolan movie about Batman.
That's different.
No. But you won't watch Denzel and Equalizer.
How can you not think that watching a Batman movie, because it's Batman, right? And that's a fictional character. I mean, obviously the Equalizer is a fictional character too, but I'm just saying Batman is like a superhero.
So it's Denzel.
Equalizer is like these kind of like this Death Wish kind of vigilante.
No. This one's a little different. First off, you get hints. You get subtle hints to what drives him in Equalizer 1, and then in Equalizer.
What drives him?
I'm not. I need you to watch the movie.
Okay.
I need you to at least watch the first Equalizer.
Is this the one where he works in like Lowe's or something?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, some hardware store. Okay.
Yeah. So watch that, and then in Equalizer 2, you get the full story as to what's been driving him this time. Stuff. And so I'm curious to find out how. I hope 3 is the last one and they finish it. We're on part 4 with John Wick right now. Have you seen John Wick?
I saw. I didn't see I saw some of the first one, and then like some of the third one, but I've never seen like the entire movie. And
did you watch Reacher?
Who?
Reacher.
No. Jack Reacher?
Yeah.
No. Which one? Well, I didn't watch either one.
The first one with Tom Cruise.
No. I didn't watch
Have you watched Mission Impossible?
Now, I saw the first Mission Impossible was fantastic, right? It was great. And then I think I saw like Ghost Protocol, I believe. So I saw the first one, and then like I hadn't watched the whole the whole series of movies, right? But the first one, I think, Ghost Protocol. You've seen them all, haven't you?
No, I haven't seen them all. Okay, so we got Mission Impossible. The first one came out in '96.
Fantastic.
And then we got Mission Impossible 2, which came out in 2000. And then 3 came out in 2006. And then Rogue Nation came out in Ghost Protocol came out in 2011. Then Rogue Nation came out in 15. Fallout came out in 18. And Dead Reckoning Part 1 is out this year.
So I saw Mission Impossible, obviously. That's one we just talked about. And I think I saw Ghost Protocol 2011. I hadn't seen any of the other ones. Yeah.
Anyway, you should. Here's why I think you owe Equalizer a watch.
Should I be writing this down?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
No. Why are you laughing?
I mean,
I think they did a good job of Denzel slowly doing his character development. Because initially you just get a guy that's working at a hardware store that decides to help somebody out. And so, slowly, bit by bit, we learn small pieces. The action in part 1 was, I think, great. And the interaction between your antagonist and your protagonist is amazing. I think it's absolute. There's a part in the movie when they're talking to each other, and Denzel's relaying this story to him that he heard that could be about him. I mean, they never let on whether it was true or not that it was about him.
so
it's that kind of friction between those two. And the climax to the movie is absolutely wonderful. So
let me ask you this question. Is the character's backstory fully developed at the end of the first movie?
No.
See, that's what I don't like.
Just enough. Well, but I think that's why you get the full story in part 2. You get everything in part 2.
So let's let's say hypothetically, part one was a flop, right? And part two, it's just not going to happen. So now you're left with this story that has an incomplete backstory to the protagonist, who is this, kind of vigilante, I guess, or this angel who helps people out, who are in dire straits, or it just seems weird. I hate it when the backstory is not fully developed, and where there's this where you don't know why he's doing something or why
Well,
she's doing something.
do we really know why, the Joker is in Gotham City other than he's just criminally insane, you know, and the fact that he hates Batman. I mean, so I, there's absolutely no way I could believe that the producers and the director took a look at the first cut of Equalizer 1 and didn't think to themselves, this is a great fucking movie. There will be a part two to this. I think all along the writers knew that this was going to be, at least 2 parts, if not 3.
Well,
and it's I think it's a trend that we're going to see a lot more of, kind of like, these movie series, just like any other series you can watch on TV. I mean, let's take a look at Breaking Bad. How long did you have to go into Breaking Bad before you really got why, Walter White was doing what he was doing?
That's kind of different in that this is so, you have these individual episodes within this series, right? Every episode is not every episode is not dedicated to telling, a complete story about a complete. Every episode is not dedicated to its backstory, but there's always these little slivers of things that are in there, right? So by the end of the first season, you pretty much kind of understand why he's doing what he's doing, right? And that evolves over time, right? I mean, when you look at Breaking Bad, right, and we've talked about it, you look at Breaking Bad. At first, it was all about this guy who thought he was gonna die, who was trying to set up his family for, for his eventual demise, and then it just morphs into he just became a criminal, right? He started to feel that power, feel all this, he started to like what he was doing. Okay. You can't do that in a 2-hour movie, right? So why not just tell me what Denzel is this guy who can grab you by your pinky finger and and make you give up all the state secrets.
And that's and I think that's what makes a good movie, and it builds anticipation for the next. It may have been dropped that already that Equalizer was going to be 2 parts. I don't know, but I know after I watched the first one, if there was going to be a second one, I was going to watch. I knew that, and he was just somebody that I got vested in. I mean, his character was somebody that I was actually vested in. And so when part 2 came out, and we learned, because there's a certain reluctance on his part initially to even get involved, and he's telling himself, "No, this ain't your business. Stay out of it." But than he does anyway. They did an excellent job, in my opinion, of character development for Denzel and Equalizer. I think you should watch. And I think if you watch the first one, you'll be like, yeah, I need to check out part 2.
I think I got it. I mean, you can go to Amazon and get anything really, but I'll check it out. I got time today. I'm doing shit. Ain't like
Wow, I'm telling you, and you're right. And you have to suspend reality for
you
a
got to
while.
suspend disbelief for a while. I get it.
Yeah,
But,
you have to. Yeah, you have to. But it's. I think it's so cleverly done. I'm thinking in part 2 about the way he killed folks. And you really don't get that until towards the end of the movie. And so the beginning of part 2, the first hour of part 2 really fills in all those blanks you have from part 1.
all right, let me ask you this question. Let's say that let's say the first Equalizer, right? The first Equalizer is the same movie, except Denzel Washington is not playing the lead character, right? It's somebody else. Mm-hmm. Is that movie as good? Because what I found out through my years and my decade of watching movies, that a great actor can make something bad good, or make something that's kind of uninteresting an interesting movie, right? If it's not Denzel Washington playing it, right? If it's I'll go say somebody. If it's somebody else, is it a better movie? I mean, is it the same movie?
You can't stick Jamie Foxx in that movie and it end up the same movie. So no. But you'd almost have to say that for almost any Denzel movie. Yeah. Even with the exception of his bad movies. Like, what was the one with him and Robert Townsend in the Jamaicans?
Him and Robert Townsend.
Yes. You don't remember that movie? Oh my God.
The only movie he was in with Robert Townsend was The Soldier Story.
No. Two movies.
You talking about The Mighty Quinn?
The Mighty Quinn. Yes. Yes.
That's different.
No. So you could put any Joe Blow in The Mighty Quinn, and there's no way you could have put James Earl Jones in The Mighty Quinn, and it still be horrible. So, but his good movies. Could anybody have played Malcolm X?
Well, it's different. No, he could. No one could have done that better than he did, so we have to get rid of some. So we throw out like Malcolm X because that's next level shit. Right?
Okay.
All right. So I mean, if we really were to look at his body of work, right? His whole IMDb.
I'm already there. Where you want me to start at?
Joe, I mean, if you just go,
I'm gonna go back. We're just gonna go back 20 years.
All right, 20 years.
Antoine Fisher.
I saw some of it. I didn't think it was a good movie. But go ahead. I mean, no. I mean, just keep bringing them, and I'm gonna give you my opinion. I didn't think Antoine Fisher was a very good movie. But go ahead.
Wait. Hold on, I'm on the wrong one. All right, I'm doing You know what? We're gonna go all the way back. All right.
Yep.
Let's see. A soldier story.
Maybe in my Mount Rushmore of movies, the Soldier Story is on my Mount Rushmore. So yeah. So
Okay.
excellent.
All right.
And let's stipulate now that was really Adolph Caesar and Howard Rollins Jr. Right? It
Okay.
was not a Denzel played a pivotal role in that, but because of a pivotal part, but it wasn't a Denzel Washington.
Yes.
But okay, go ahead. I got you.
All right. Cry Freedom, where he plays Steve Biko.
Stephen Biko. It's okay, I guess.
Okay.
I saw it years and years ago. I can't really remember it, but it was. But again, subject matter, right? South Africa, apartheid. It's almost like a Malcolm X type of vehicle, but okay. Yeah.
Glory.
Excellent. I love him in Glory. But again, it was kind of a true-ish story based on true events, right? So yeah, and again, Denzel was playing against Morgan Freeman that was in Glory. Okay, but okay. Yeah.
All right. Mo Better Blues.
Probably one of my favorite movies, only because of the time that I saw it and what was going on with me, getting into jazz and the whole thing, and understanding Terrence Blanchard and Wynton Marsalis and Brandon Marsalis down in Louisiana. So I don't know if I liked it so much for the acting as I did for kind of the subject matter, because I was really into jazz at that time. But okay.
All right. Did you ever see him in Mississippi Masala?
I did.
Okay.
Not a good movie.
Not necessarily his fault. I think the actress that was paired up with him, I don't think she was that good.
I agree. You can when they were on screen together, you can tell that there was a difference in skill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Ricochet.
If and I always jump on this guy, and I know, I know what it's all why, but Ice-T should. That was a movie. I like Ricochet because he was playing against John Lithgow in Ricochet.
Yep.
It was a great movie, but that the whole kind of accompanying kind of situation with him and Ice-T, yeah, it just was not. It just was not good, man. That whole side story with him and Ice-T was just not good. So I think Ricochet would probably be a better movie if they had gotten rid of that and did something. It could have been anything. Love interest, family, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
I agree. I completely agree. The Pelican Brief.
Big John Grisham fan. I was reading John Grisham's books during that time. I didn't really like I didn't really like the Pelican Brief so much. I was never a big Julia Roberts fan. I like the story because I was a John Grisham fan, but that's really I didn't like Pelican Brief much.
I thought that her infatuation with Denzel just bled over onto the screen. There's a scene in the movie where she's looking at Denzel like, I wish he would just ram his tongue down my throat.
I wish that this was real.
Yes.
Yeah. I noticed that, and it was that jumped off the screen, and I think that not to put too fine a point on this, but I think that's one of the reasons that the Pelican Brief wasn't bigger than it was, because people had this view of Julia Roberts and who she is, like the girl next door, and yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Philadelphia.
Hey, it's up there. It's up there. It's a amazing movie.
And no one could have. There's nobody you could put in there that's dead. No.
When his character, when the Tom Hanks character came into his office and he shook hands and then he said he had AIDS, and the way Denzel kind of lifted his hand after he shook his hand. Hey man, I'm gonna tell you right now, that was that's acting genius there, baby.
Okay. I'm gonna skip this one because this was horrible. Virtuosity.
Oh, okay. I think you missed one, but okay.
Oh, you talking about Crimson Tide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, him and Gene Hackman going toe to toe.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I didn't like it really. I wouldn't rewatch it, but it was
I
good.
like it. Yeah. I like it. I watched Crimson Tide several times.
And you did a good job with skipping over Virtuosity because
yeah. That shit was bad.
yeah.
Devil in a Blue Dress.
They had my main man Don Cheadle playing Mouse. It's hard for me to not like Devil in a Blue Dress, but I really didn't, not much. But I liked the storyline. I don't know. It just didn't come together as well.
It did, and I think that's my biggest critique of that movie. It was so. It's like people house hunting and they say they want something that's open concept, and you take them to a Victorian where there's all these separate individual rooms in a house.
Yeah.
You know, everything was so blocked off. Everything was so choppy. It just never flowed. So yeah,
I completely agree. Yeah.
Courage Under Fire.
I'm gonna have to admit I only saw like 5 or 10 minutes of it. I never watched the whole thing. I mean, I had heard about it. I thought, people had been talking about it for a long time, but I never saw it, so I can't really speak on it. Was it good?
I thought it was good, and not because of Denzel. I think he added to it, but Meg Ryan does an excellent job in this movie, and her feeding off the guys in the war scenes and was excellent. I thought it was a good movie. It's one of those, Veterans Day, Memorial Day movies that I'll watch at least once a year. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
I have to put that on my list. I never watched it. I never watched Courage Under Fire.
He didn't have to carry it. All right, we're gonna skip The Preacher's Wife because that was trash. Fallen. Another movie in which you have to suspend reality. But I thought it was an excellent plot. I thought it was an excellent story. And I thought it was well written and well directed. I like Fallen.
Yeah, I mean, I dug Fallen too. I don't get into more of the most of the supernatural stuff, and I was surprised that he went into that genre. But yeah, I mean, I watched it because it was kind of on a screen in front of me. I didn't, I didn't seek it out. So yeah, I don't
know. He Got Game.
Yeah, man. Back to like the Mississippi Marsala discussion. When he was on screen with any of those guys, especially when he was on screen with Ray Allen, it was just, it was too big of an acting delta there, right? And it kind of took away from the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It,
You, I wish Ray Allen is one of my favorite basketball players for a lot of reasons,
oh yeah,
but he's a horrible actor, and I'm not sure. I think this was his first movie role,
I'm pretty sure it was.
and this shouldn't have been his first movie role.
It should have been his last though.
No, no. I think it may have been has he been in anything else since then?
I hadn't seen him in anything else since then. But again, Ray Allen shoots 3-pointers. He doesn't, he's not an actor, right? But the movie itself, Denzel carried the movie to the point where it was an okay movie. I mean, I just had a lot of kind of problems with what He Got Game, and if we ever do a movie review on it, it'll come out. But it was just, it was like you said about the other one. It was just so choppy. It was, it was like it was just too much. It was just too many stories going on at one time. But He Got Game, for me at least, and I don't know. I didn't really dig it as much as I should have or thought I would. But there's a Spike joint, right? And I love Spike Lee's movies.
All right, the next one was The Siege.
Fantastic movie. Fantastic, man. I mean, him, Tony Shalhoub, Annette Bening. I mean, just a great movie, I thought.
Annette Bening was not believable in this movie to me, and I don't know why. I love her in so many other things. I just watched a movie with her in it. Hold on, let me tell you. The other night, it was called. Hold on. No, that's not it. Girl, Most Likely.
Never saw that one.
Kristen Wiig, Annette Bening, Matt Dillon, Natasha Lyonne.
Was it a comedy?
Yes.
Oh.
And it was hilarious.
Really?
She plays the mom. Her Kristen Wiig plays the daughter. She comes out of a failed relationship. She gets sent to a mental hospital. They realize ain't shit wrong with her. She's taking up a bed. So they call her, instead of calling her boyfriend, her ex-fiance, who's moved on, they call her mom to come get her. She's got a gambling addiction. Matt Dillon plays her younger love interest, who's supposed to be this CIA secret agent, whose name is just Bob. His name is, I'm not Bob. His name is George Boucher, like George Bush. It is fucking nutty. It's a good movie. Those are the kind of movies I'm used to seeing her in. And she was just hard. It was hard for me to believe that. It was just hard for me to believe her in that role. Let me just say that. So yeah. That's the only knock I have against The Siege. I really like The Siege. And, well, no, that's not the only knock. Bruce Willis being some full-bird colonel, having all that power. What was it, 1 star? Or So yeah, he was a one star.
Yeah.
You know, other than that, but the guy that played, you know, your boy, played Denzel's partner in the movie.
Yeah, it's Tony Shalhoub played Monk.
Yeah, yeah, Monk. I thought it was other than those two things. The Bone Collector with him and Angelina. Yeah.
I remember it sort of, kind of, sort of, but yeah, I mean, I didn't. If I'm sitting down and I got a choice between watching the Bone Collector and I don't know, TikToks about cooking you know making nacho cheese. I'll just go with the nachos. It probably was a good movie. I don't remember it, but I know I saw it. This is the one when he was like in the bed, right? He was
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's forgettable. The Hurricane.
Fantastic. I love the Hurricane. It was, what can you do, right? A great movie.
Remember the Titans.
Again, yeah. Because I live up here, and I had already heard the story about Herman Boone and T.C. Williams up there, and that whole thing with integration of that school and how the football team kind of showed everybody how it can be done, and that whole kind of civil rights dream of everything. But yeah, I like Remember the Titans. I thought the football scenes were terrible, but
They were.
everything else was pretty good. Yeah.
Training Day.
Alonzo Hightower, baby.
You can't. Who else could pull off that like Denzel?
Nobody. And again, we got to go back again to rappers being in movies, because Dr. Dre in there was not good.
You're absolutely correct. It was not good. And I expected more out of Dre. So when you hear stories about when Dre was producing NWA and all the stuff he did at Death Row and how much of a perfectionist he is, there's a special on Cinemax or Showtime called California Love, the halftime show, where they did the halftime show at the Super Bowl a couple of years back with Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50, I think Mary J. Blige, Snoop. So when you hear people tell all these stories about how much of a perfectionist he is, I would have expected Dre, even for the small role he had in the movie, to be better prepared, and he just was not.
I agree. It was just it looked as if he thought he could do something that he couldn't do, if that makes sense. It looked like he was, I know how these people act, so they're like this cop. So I'm just going to do what I think that, and it was just, it was not good at all, man. It was terrible.
It was. John Q.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that just kept constantly pulling on your heartstrings. I mean, I dug it, and I understand the whole, what would you do if that was you, and how would you sacrifice, your life for your child, and I get it, kind of the God complex thing. But John Q was okay. I'm again, I could be doing something else. If I sit down and watch John Q and something else is on, I would just go to that. I'm not a big John Q fan at all.
All right. We're gonna skip over Antoine Fisher since you've never seen that.
Nah, and probably never will. I saw like snippets, but yeah.
Out of Time. Out of Time sticks with me because I think this is the movie that really brought. I had a huge crush on Sanaa Lathan after watching this movie. I think she is absolutely one of the most beautiful actresses. So I can watch Out of Time. The acting, and surprisingly, she held her own against Denzel in this movie. So I don't have a problem with Out of Time. I think Out of Time is just okay.
Yeah, I mean, so I think Out of Time is kind of a remake of Body Heat, the John Huston. I can't think of her name now.
I see your face, but yeah.
Yeah, so obviously it's a remake or retelling of that movie. So I kind of knew the ending, which made it not as enjoyable if I'm going in fresh.
Kathleen Turner.
Yeah, Kathleen Turner. Yeah. And William Hurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of knew the ending, or kind of knew what the whole flow was going to be about. Yeah, but I mean it was a pretty good flick. I mean, I sat down. I think I actually saw Out of Time in the theater. That's true. So, but yeah. So,
Man on Fire. Probably, no, not probably. Without a doubt, top 3 favorite Denzel movie for me.
Charlie.
Yeah. I can watch Man on Fire daily. I can. I have absolutely no critiques about it. And I watched the original Man on Fire. Matter of fact, it's on constant rotation now. I think Stars. They're vastly different, and I've got to say the action in this one blows the original completely.
Yeah. So like Man on Fire again. So that's one of those remakes. I think Scott Glenn did the original one. So you kind of know the ending, but again, if you're talking about some quotable movie dialogue, there's that one dropping in, but quotable in that one, boy. Yeah. So I mean, that does Man on Fire.
Yeah. Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, I think I like it. Again, a remake. Kind of knew the ending. Kind of knew what it was about. So didn't really get into it as much as if it would have been like an actual original movie. But yeah, I'd already seen the one with what's her name in there, played Murder She Wrote all those years.
Yeah. Angela Lansbury.
Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Inside Man.
Bro, I loved Inside Man. This is one of those things where, so Spike Lee directed it, but he didn't write it. Right. And so that was one of the kind of, I think, one of the better things about this movie, because it gave Spike, I think, kind of the freedom to not be trapped in his own creation. right? He just took what the writers had done and then directed that movie, from somebody else's creation. But I loved Inside Man. I mean, the whole kind of Nazi um, um, leftover Nazi genre is, I mean, I think 2006 may have been because those guys are kind of dying off, right? Unless it's telling of their offspring. But yeah, I loved Inside Man. I dug it. Jodie Foster was good in it.
Yeah.
Denzel was great in it. I can't think. Was it? Oh, not Max von Sydow. Who played the old guy in there? I can't think of his name.
Christopher Plummer.
Christopher Plummer. Yeah. So yeah, man, I love Inside Man. What do you think?
I loved it. I loved it. I and I agree. Spike Lee being given a vehicle and to see, it come to fruition, not being his creation and still being a good movie. I think that spoke volumes. I love the way he did the movie. I thought the flow was good. The character development was good. Um, how were they gonna get out of this bank? All of that. I thought that was just absolutely wonderful. So yeah, I don't have any knocks on this.
You know what else I like too, G, is when like at the end they'll go back and they kind of show you how how they did and how they got out and the whole thing, and then all the little things that they were doing during the time. You say, oh, that's why they did that. That's why he did that. Yeah. I love movies that end like that.
Because you got that chaos on the front end because nobody knows anything. Nobody knows. They're like, they were masked the whole time, and then they got mixed in with the crowd, and and all that kind of chaos, and then to break it out at the end for us and explain, it's almost like The Usual Suspects.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the movie, when you get that aha moment and stuff, and he starts to realize that he got, the whole time, and it just kind of came together. I love Inside Man. Deja Vu.
Another one of those that I remember watching.
Yeah.
Again, you really got to suspend disbelief in something, and that's kind of sci-fi too.
Yeah.
So there's been a couple of sci-fi movies that now it's coming back to me. Because that and the other one, Fallen. I don't know. I remember Deja Vu, quite frankly, but I don't think I really liked it. The game out.
American Gangster.
Great movie.
Yeah, we don't even have to talk about that one.
Yeah, because him and Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get better than that one.
The Great Debaters.
Never saw it.
Yeah, I did. Not one of my, I don't even think it's top 20 favorite Denzel movies.
Yeah.
The Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Again, another remake. Kind of knew the ending. But I did like how him and John Travolta kind of played off each other, and then when they finally on screen together, and John Travolta doing that whole kind of pseudo black voice that he does sometimes when he goes, what did he say to him? Well, you're tall and good looking too. But that's just the Travolta thing.
So, Luis Guzman is in the movie. He's kind of John's right-hand man in the movie. He's a guy I think that doesn't get enough credit. And when you go back and look over his filmography, you say this guy has been in some blockbusters. You know, I was watching damn it. I was watching Boogie Nights the other night, and I was like, man, he's in everything. And he's in everything that's good. He was in what's the movie with Jesus? He was in Traffic. He was in oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember this movie. He was in The Godfather of Harlem. He was in is the name of it. He was in Narcos. He was in what's the movie with Sean Penn and Al Pacino, or is that Robert De Niro?
No, it was Al Pacino. You're talking about
When he gets out of jail and he come on.
That's one of my favorite Louis Guzman films. That was I don't even want to look it up because it's gonna make me mad when you say it.
I know.
Carlito's Way.
Carlito's Way.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it would probably be just you and I on that discussion, but he's somebody that we need to go back because he's been in some great movies. I love him.
So, if you were to ask anyone that I know about who some of my favorite actors are, Louis Guzman is gonna be in my top 5.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen, even when he's doing like little bit parts, like when he was playing in We're the Millers, when he played that Mexican cop.
Yeah.
He and he's one of my favorite actors, man. There was this series on HBO years ago, a decade ago. It's called How to Make It in America. It's about these young guys in New York City. One of them was a clothing designer, and the other one, this Kid Cudi, was in that series too. Anyway, Louis Guzman played a part in that HBO series. Fantastic, right? I mean, I love. I hadn't seen him in anything that I don't like him in, man.
Yeah, he is definitely one of my favorites. And when you, like you said, when you start going back, We're the Millers is a movie. You know, I could turn that on to people with I think that have a sense of humor, but you have to have a particular sense of humor to watch We're the Millers. That I can watch We're the Millers. That's another movie I can watch every day and cry my eyes out laughing.
It's fucking insane.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
All right. Book of Eli. I think we've talked about Book of Eli 100 times. So
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, I dug it, but you know,
Unstoppable.
never saw it.
Yeah, and anybody could play. It's another train movie, you know, and this is with him and this other guy, and yeah, it's almost it's similar. This could have been a sequel to Pelham, the Taking the Pelham 1, 2, 3. So,
Yeah. That's I just looked it up. It was Chris Pines in there with him, so
yeah. Safe House.
Yeah, I remember watching Safe House years ago. That's the one with Ryan Reynolds, right?
Yeah.
And it was okay. I let me put it this way. So years ago, there was this movie called Bad Company, right? It was Chris Rock and Anthony Hopkins. I don't know if you remember, but
And the female lead was oh, what was her name? I'll find it. Go ahead.
yeah. If you ever rewatch that movie again, just pay particular attention to Anthony Hopkins, and you will see a man who doesn't want to be there. He did not want. I don't know what it was. You know, maybe whatever studio he was in, that hey, you got to be in these 5 movies, and that's just a part of your contract or whatever. But that was a man who did not want to be there. I kind of looked at Safe House the same way. Like Denzel did it, but it didn't seem like he was like it was. He didn't seem very motivated, I guess.
Um, hold on. I I I I liked Safe House. Um, hmm. I don't know. I didn't get that take from it.
Yeah, yeah.
Hold on. Okay, here we go. Who was that female lead in this? I don't know why I can't remember her. It was, where's she at? Scary Washington in there. Shit, I can't even find it now. Anyway, all right. On to the next one. All right, what's the next movie?
Flight,
Okay.
which that is pure Denzel there. That Flight was fantastic, man. Uh, and it was 'cause again, Don Cheadle. Uh, and at the end when Denzel did that whole thing where he was, telling those people, "I'm drunk right now." Yeah, so Flight was an amazing movie.
um, I didn't watch Flight until maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And I absolutely love it. I think the character development in Flight is absolutely wonderful. You see, I think those are real struggles of a real man. You got a
Yeah,
guy that's
yeah,
divorced, you got a father that doesn't have a real relationship with his son. Guy's got a substance abuse problem. Um, but he's a functioning drug addict and alcoholic. Um, and you know what really got me? They get you so. This movie got me so vested in Denzel's well-being and him being okay. And you remember the night they put him up in the hotel, and he broke into the room next door, and I'm going, don't do it, man.
yeah, yeah. Talking to the screen.
Come on, come on, bro. Don't do it. And when they find that motherfucker the next morning, oh my god, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Come on, player. Come on,
yeah,
player. Leave it
yeah.
alone. Yeah, yeah.
Next movie, Two Guns.
Well, no.
I hated Two Guns.
I that movie. I struggle to find anything good into. I mean, obviously, that's one of those same things where he just didn't look like he wanted to be there, man.
It I I get the concept. It's a buddy movie, you and Mark Wahlberg and stuff, and y'all gonna be the new Sammy Davis and Dean Martin. That shit was horrible.
It was horrible, and I
That
think
was
this is more a Mark Wahlberg hey, let's make this guy a superstar than it was, you got Denzel Washington on the screen. Because that's the only reason I even, watched Two Guns was because of Denzel Washington in there, because I'm not a big Mark Wahlberg fan.
I
It
I
was
I like Mark Wahlberg. I think he so he's somebody else that we probably need to devote an episode to because there he's done some good things. As a
I
as a
agree.
whole, as
I
a
agree.
whole, his body of work as a whole, I have genuinely enjoyed. Off the top of my head, man, The Departed,
Fantastic in the Departed.
loved it, loved it. So yeah. But this one, this wasn't a good mix for either one of them.
That one movie that he did with The Rock and the other guy, I can't think of his name now.
Oh, No Pain, No Gain,
No
or
Pain, No Gain. Yeah,
yeah,
Pain and Gain.
that Pain and Gain.
Yeah, I thought Pain and Gain
That
was.
was
I thought it was.
Anthony Mack.
Anthony Mack, The Rock, Mark Wahlberg. I thought Pain and Gain was a great movie. And that Mark Wahlberg shows some range in there, right? This one here, Two Guns, in 2013, nah, no, it was not a good movie.
Okay. All right. Where are we at? Equalizer. We talked about that. The Magnificent Seven. I watched The Magnificent Seven. Yeah, I really didn't care for it too much.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, a remake probably could have been done better. I think some of those movies, again, I think that like The Magnificent Seven was more to that people see Chris Pratt and I can't think of the other guy's name now.
Ethan Hawke
Ethan
and
Hawke. Yeah, it wasn't wasn't a Denzel Washington movie. I don't think. I mean, it was. He
yeah, it
starred in it,
wasn't.
but it wasn't his vehicle.
Yeah. I agree. Fences.
Never saw it. Heard about it. Never saw it. Why are you staring at me like that? Did I miss that? I mean, it's got Viola Davis in it, who is when we start talking about who's the best actor, and trying to rack and stack them, she is probably number 2. I think for me at least.
So why haven't you watched this movie?
I don't know. Yeah, I probably have to.
Subject matter.
Maybe subject matter.
It's not. So it's not a tear jerker in the traditional sense. So this movie was set in what 50s or 60s, probably 60s, maybe 50s, late 50s, early 60s. Does a wonderful job of showing the struggles, the real struggles of a Black family. So you got a husband and wife with 2 sons. You got the husband's brother who's got mental health issues. See the dad going to work every day, coming home every Friday, turning over his check to his wife. Then you got the father having an extramarital affair and having a baby out of that, and then the mom's acceptance of the baby when the side piece dies. You got the friction between the dad and the son. The son wants to come into his own. Dad's trying to teach him how to be a man. The only way he knows how to teach him to be a man. Oh man, it's a good movie. Fences is a great movie.
Let's check it out. Yeah, I'm about to check it out. I know
Great.
At one point. Yeah, all right. Okay, I'll check it out.
All right, Roman J. Israel, Esquire.
Never saw it.
Let me say that I've watched this movie probably 5 or 6 times. I still don't get it. I mean, I get it. I don't know why it was made. I don't know why it was green. I have none of this shit. I have absolutely no idea. I wouldn't recommend you ever spending 2 hours to watch Roman J. Israel, Esquire. And I've done it at least 5 times. All right. Equalizer 2, we've discussed The Little Things. I haven't watched The Little Things.
That's the
Oh,
one.
yeah.
With Jared Leto, right?
Yeah, that's when he's the sheriff. Yeah. This is Rami Malek, Jared Leto. Yeah.
So that movie should have been better than it was. I don't know what I thought that at one point if Jared Leto and Romy, what's his name?
Rami Malek.
Yeah.
Rami Malek.
If they had switched parts, I think it may because it was just hard for me to look at Jared Leto as the antagonist in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Maybe it's just just a general look. But that movie should have been better than it was. It just wasn't a good movie.
I think that I can say that this is probably, well, not probably, it is. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a big letdown for me. This is my least favorite Jared Leto movie. Yeah, I didn't like this one at all. I didn't like it at all. And lastly, he was in The Tragedy of Macbeth. I haven't seen that one.
Nah, me either. I mean, so obviously it's Macbeth, right? So
yeah.
You kind of
another retailer.
Yeah, just a retailer. Yeah, so
I might check it out though, because it was directed by Joel Cohen. It's got Frances McDormand in it, Brendan Gleeson, Corey Hawkins. Who else? And, Brian Thompson. He's a good character actor. Stephen Root.
Oh, really?
Yep. I might check it out. See what it's showing on. Oh, it's on Apple TV. Yeah, I might. That sounds like it's worth a watch.
I mean, so that's so that one that just shows he's prolific in his movie making. Because we started at what? At Malcolm X in '92?
Actually, we went for
we started a little further than that. So we started at
Soldier Story '84, but we could have gone back to '77. He was in the Wilma Rudolph story.
Yeah. And then Carbon Copy. I actually remember seeing Carbon Copy.
I do too.
And you could tell at that point, at that time, he was going to be great. Then hit Heart Condition, Mo Better Blues. You got that. So yeah, man. I mean, Denzel Washington is obviously one of the greatest ever lived. So, but he did have some questionable decisions in my estimation.
Yeah, I think there are only a couple. You talk about Ed Norton not having any bad movies, but again, Death to Smoochie was
Smoochie
trash.
was not that bad. I mean, I get
When
it.
you say that bad, it was still a bad movie.
Okay. It wasn't a good movie.
Okay, all
How
right.
about that? But man, he got some smokers in there.
He's got a ton of shit for every one mishap he's made, he's got shit 25 things. I give him that, you know. Shit.
Yeah, he's definitely on my Mount Rushmore, without a doubt. For me, at least.
See, and if we did Mount Rushmores, we probably had to go 5 or 6 heads on there versus 4 for me. Daniel Day-Lewis is gonna be on mine. Shit. I mean, how do you leave out folks like Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Marlon Brando, Sidney Poitier?
So it's hard, obviously.
It is.
It's hard. And then so a lot of that is based on your age, right? Because Sidney Poitier was a fantastic actor, but I think a lot of his stuff well, not a lot of his stuff, but it predates the time in which I was starting to be like an avid movie goer or watcher, right? So, so mine would obviously be Denzel Washington would be the first one because I don't think there's a better actor in the world, right? Two is and two can be like 1A to me too, because I think Viola Davis may be. I think she's just insanely talented, right? And so that's Denzel and Viola Davis, and then 3 is Ed Norton for me. There aren't a whole lot of movies that I've seen him in that I didn't like him in. I can't really think of many. And then 4, that's when I start kind of reaching, right? It's whether it's De Niro, who I love, Pacino, who was great too. I don't know. I would really have to think about 4 if we did just 4 and 5. But those 3 are every time with me, regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be hard for me, because it's kind of situational, so I'd have to have a dramatic Mount Rushmore. I'd have to have a comedic Mount Rushmore, and not stand up, just
That's interesting.
funny actors, So, I'd have to have categories of my Rushmore stuff because I just couldn't pick, you know.
Well, who would be on your comedy?
On my comedy, just based off their movies.
Movies, yeah, just film, not stand up, just film. Yeah.
Just film. Cosby.
He would be like fifth if it's just five.
Comedy. It would be Cosby.
Let me throw a name at you.
Who?
Where would Eddie Murphy be?
Eddie Murphy made horrible comedy movies.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gee,
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. Another 48 hours.
Just the first ones. Just the first ones.
Beverly Hills Cop 2 was fantastic.
Okay. Beverly Cops 3 was trash.
3 was garbage. I got it.
So
48 hours.
48 hours. But think about it now. 48 hours was more drama, more crime than just a funny movie. So you really can't even use, I'm not going to even let you use 48 hours. I'll give you Beverly Hills Cop. I mean, that's common. 48 hours is a little bit more serious.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here we go. We said Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, right?
All right. I'll give
3.
you one.
I got it.
All right,
Golden Child.
Trash.
Are you smoking weed?
Golden Child. First off, Eddie Murphy has funny lines in Go. Look, I've watched Golden Child a million times. I know. You know, the mixing on the little rolling wheel, talking about give me the knife. Is that a bed? He's got funny lines. Not a funny movie.
Okay. All right. So we'll disagree on that one. I think it's great. I think it's funny. We'll disagree on that one. Coming to America.
Part 1, hilarious.
Okay, so all right, we got Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. We got I'm gonna put another 48 hours. I'll be 48 hours on there. You're not, but so that one and Coming to America. So me 4, you 3. All right.
Go ahead.
Harlem Nights. Come on, you can't deny.
A great movie. But what
Right.
does Eddie Murphy say funny in Harlem Nights?
Come on, the fight with Della Reese in the alley.
I'm gonna shoot that little gnawed up crusty motherfucker off your foot. That and no.
Okay. All right.
Funny movie. Eddie Murphy wasn't funny in the movie.
All right. Boomerang.
That's a romance.
Well, it's a rom-com, romantic comedy.
But who was funny in that movie? Chris Rock and Bobby Brown.
And well, David Allen Greer.
Eddie didn't say anything funny in Boomerang.
I think you're missing it. I think you're really missing something. Eddie Murphy was funny in Boomerang. The scenes with him and Eartha Kitt. The scenes with
Eartha Kitt carried that skit.
The scenes with him and the guy. Oh, the bald head guy who was doing the I guess he was the director.
Oh yeah.
Those were hilarious. Okay.
Right,
Distinguished Gentleman.
Trash. Eddie Murphy should have never made that movie. Never.
I don't think it was trash. I do think it was not as good as it could have been. I don't think he had a whole lot of support in that. I thought Distinguished Gentleman was a good movie though.
You know, people, we will have the same argument when it comes to Richard Pryor and his movies. Because there's at a certain point you realize that Rich just being pimp, and they just attaching his name to these movies and stuff because they want to make some money.
You know what? I won't deny it. I'll have to agree with you on that. But Distinguished Gentleman, I think it was an okay movie. I don't think it was hilarious, but there was some. I thought it was a good movie.
All right, what's next?
Vampire in Brooklyn. No. I mean, I know. I,
Oh, oh. You said Vampire in Brooklyn like that motherfucker got nominated for an Oscar.
it was just the next one up.
You see what I mean? You see
Okay.
what I'm saying? Garbage.
That wasn't
Now, Kadeem Hardison. That would be the one question I would have to ask Angela Bassett. Why? You Tina Turner. Why in the hell would you let somebody convince you to do? I bet you, I'm willing to bet, if somebody asked Angela Bassett, what was your biggest mistake? Your biggest regret in doing a project? I'm willing to bet this house that it's a vampire.
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure she had some other questionable roles out there. Vampire in Brooklyn, while it wasn't, great, it was it wasn't that bad. Okay, Nutty Professor. Come on. He played Sherman Clump, Buddy Love, and Lane.
I love Nutty Professor.
All right.
Absolutely love Nutty Professor.
Because it was funny.
Yes. Come on, right. Go ahead. Because we finna get to some more bombs here in a second. Come on.
All right. Metro. You know what? Metro wasn't good.
And Robert De Niro should be ashamed for making that shit too.
That wasn't. You think about another movie. I'm gonna get to that one, but this Metro was he played a cop in San Francisco.
Oh, Metro was him and what's that crazy white guy name? I can't remember his name. I know you're talking about that.
Yeah, so Metro was him and Michael Rappaport. Yeah. Okay. And there was somebody I can't remember the leading lady in that one. She's pretty good too. Okay. All right. So okay, Dr. Doolittle. I get it. I thought the first Dr. Doolittle was funny enough, but it's from a children's classic, and it's just okay. All right. Holy Man.
Garbage.
I disagree. I thought it was good. I thought the premise was great. He played against Jeff Goldblum in there, and there was a couple other people in there. I thought Holy Man was a pretty decent movie. I wouldn't kind of wake up and go ride down south to see it, but it's a pretty good movie.
If I had a Holy Man DVD, it'd be a coaster right now. Go ahead.
Right. Life. Yeah.
Life is one of the best movies ever made. There's when you talk about casting, and it was simple. They didn't make this movie complicated. They didn't throw in a whole bunch of sidebars and shit. This was a movie about Ray and Claude and going to jail, going to prison, and never giving up the fight to get out. I love Life. Life is one of the greatest movies ever made.
I love Life. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Then you gotta don't. You know, I know because I know how you get
Come
it.
on. Come on.
Bowfinger.
Um, Bowfinger is actually a funny movie if you focus on the characters. Eddie Murphy in Bowfinger is freaking hilarious.
Yes.
But the movie is garbage.
No. Steve Martin. I thought Steve Martin was hilarious in Bowfinger.
I mean, those two, they are. But the movie never really just when I start laughing at Bowfinger, I start laughing because I see Eddie Murphy with these glasses on and these braces on and this bow tie and this ugly ass shirt and the look on his face. That's what gets me laughing.
You know, the scene in Bowfinger when Steve Martin was telling Eddie Murphy he had to run across the street again, run into traffic. And Eddie Murphy's character, Jim started crying.
Oh,
I can watch this here. All right, so now the next one, Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, I thought was funny.
what was that?
I mean, I would rather watch the first one because the second one obviously is just, kind of jumping on a continuation of the first one. But yeah, I'm not even gonna mention Dr. Dolittle 2. Showtime, that's the one with Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it also had the guy from I can't remember his name now from Star Trek.
I've never watched all of Showtime. I've never watched all of Showtime.
Don't. It's not a good movie. Adventures of Pluto Nash. I have no idea because I never watched it. I heard it was
the one where he's in a spacecraft going in somebody's ear inside their head or some shit?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched it.
I never watched it either. I Spy. Him and Owen Wilson. He played the boxer. Huh? I thought it was good. So I Spy obviously is just I thought it was gonna be more I Spy because of the Bill Cosby and I can't think of the white guy because they did the whole TV. I thought it was gonna be a series of I Spy movies, but obviously they didn't have the type of chemistry to do it. Okay. Daddy Daycare.
Trash.
Oh, come on. Daddy Daycare was good, man.
No.
It was good. You gotta rewatch it. That was a funny movie.
No.
That was a funny movie. Don't let the fact that your boy Cuba Gooding Jr. did the other one. Okay, here we go. And this is where we're gonna really dive. This is where we're gonna go completely apart, and this may just derail the whole podcast here. Norbit.
Norbit is freaking hilarious. I love Norbit. I absolutely love that movie.
Well, that's one person who loves it.
You didn't like Norbit?
No, Norbit was terrible, man. Norbit was not good.
Norbit, Marlon Wayans as the aerobics instructor.
That was some funny parts. I remember some funny parts. But that was not a good movie. No, I don't think it was good. It's a lot of stuff you can skip here because a lot of just voiceover stuff like Shrek and the whole deal. I'm pretty sure you didn't see this one because I don't think anybody did really. Meet Dave.
I saw Meet Dave. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I never saw Meet Dave. And then he did another one called Imagine That.
Oh, never saw that.
I saw that one. Tower Heist. Him and Ben Stiller.
Oh, wait. Did I see that?
Yeah, I'm sure. I know you saw Tower Heist.
I think I did see Tower Heist.
Yeah, him, Ben Stiller, Casey Affleck, Alan Alda's in it.
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick. It had a lot of people in there. Judd Hirsch, Taylor Leone, Michael Pena, who I always thought was a good actor. He's in it. So I didn't think it was that good though. This is just Eddie Murphy vehicles now, right? So Mr. Church won the comedy, but
Eddie was amazing in Mr. Church.
Yeah,
and yeah. That was surprising. It was very surprising. I think we were sitting around here reaching at anything one night to watch, and Mr. Church popped up on Netflix. I think it was streaming pretty popular on Netflix at the time, and we watched it, and I was pleasantly surprised at how much I liked Mr. Church.
Dolomite Is My Name.
Loved it.
Obviously, that was just fantastic. I was kind of, and I know that it's subjective and the whole kind of deal, but I really thought that he should have won an Oscar for that one. Because I thought it was fantastic. That and I missed one. I missed Dreamgirls.
Yeah.
Because he was fantastic in Dreamgirls too.
He was.
But I don't see anything after that besides Coming to America. I still hadn't seen that because I just heard it's not good.
Don't.
I hate when they they remake something like that and it just ruins the.
They did. They really ruined it, and that goes back to, I think we talked about it last week or week before, when I mentioned the new House Party movie. Sometimes you have to leave well enough alone, and they did a horrible job on that. So yeah, no, I really, it would be a stretch. It would be a stretch to put Eddie on my Mount Rushmore as far as comedy movies. I mean, because you think about guys that have been in movies like Dave Chappelle, and not necessarily in movies that he starred in, but like him and Undercover Brother. I can watch Undercover Brother just to hear Dave Chappelle's lines in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I really have to take a look at my favorite comedy movies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'd really have to just go back and look right now because off the top of my head, I just couldn't. Think guys that most people would think that probably should be on there. Yeah.
I mean, so there's been no one who is, I think, as prolific as because Eddie Murphy's been making comedies since the mid '80s, right?
Yeah.
And that's a long time.
Okay, so off the top of my head, I just thought about one. Zach Galifianakis.
Just hadn't got a whole. I mean, his I can. What did he have? 3, maybe 4 movies, right? Uh, yeah, cause I will count like The Hangover as one, right? Because it's just
A
yeah, it's just
series.
it's
Yeah.
just series, right? It's just so that and I can't even remember anything else. I mean, he was in Due Date, but it was I didn't really like that movie. I thought it had some funny parts, but
Hmm.
um,
Hold on, let me think. Uh, my favorite comedy movies. Yeah, I'd have to do the research. I really would. I really would. You know. Um, and I think about some of my favorite actors that could go both ways. Um, Clooney,
he's been in a lot of good funny movies. I think
yes, yes,
he's got a
yeah.
certain. I mean, the one he did a movie when he was playing a divorce lawyer. I can't think of the name of it now. That I thought he was in it with Catherine Zeta-Jones, um,
Oh yeah. Shit.
a couple other people. I always thought that was a good. I always thought that was a funny movie. I used to sit down. I'll sit down and watch that if it's on. Uh,
Um, Oh brother, where art thou?
it was a good movie. Yeah,
Um, let's see.
and he's always got kind of this comedic, almost, kind of. It's always funny in the stuff that he does.
The Men Who Stare at Goats. I just watched that again the other night.
Yeah.
Burn After Reading. When he shot Brad Pitt in the closet. Oh, what else? The Ocean series, Oceans 11, 12, and 13.
Yep, those are all good too. Um,
Intolerable Cruelty.
that's what it was. Intolerable Cruelty. I
Yeah.
can watch that every time it comes on. Every time if it's on, I'll watch that because there's some pretty funny parts of that. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I'd have to really, really, really dig into my list. I've got a pretty extensive list on IMDb. I'd have to go back through and take a look and see. Uh, you know, who else has made? Matthew McConaughey has made some good funny movies. Uh, yeah, Brad Pitt would probably be on my Mount Rushmore. I mean, just well, not just primarily because he has an extensive catalog and he's done everything. He's done sci-fi, he's done comedies, he's done romance comedies, he's done dramatic movies, he's done war movies. Um,
yeah. I mean, he's
and,
got that.
and nothing that stands out that's been too lame. Um, and he's in some of my favorite movies. So
Yeah, I mean, we had some. I mean, all of them got a couple of stinkers out there. And I'm sure he had. If we were to run his IMDb from top to bottom, we probably find some like
oh yeah,
some some questionable questionable decisions. But they all do, right?
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
some of them, yeah, because like, listen, it's a job, right? And hey, everything can't be, everything can't be Fight Club. But every now and then, you got to make a Meet Joe Black. So
Whoa,
that's
whoa,
how
whoa, whoa, whoa,
that's how
whoa,
it happens.
whoa, 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 whoa. Don't, no. Meet Joe Black is a great movie.
You must be smoking. Meet Joe Black is terrible.